Hi, Kidz Konnection. Hope you all had a great time over their holidays and you got to spend some time with your families. Today, I'm going to read a story to you from this book, Laugh and Grow Bible for Kids. It's the story of Daniel and the lions. Have you ever been to the zoo? Did you see where they keep the lions? There is probably a big fence or a big glass wall between you and the lions to keep them from getting out and to keep you from falling in. You don't want to fall in with the lions. Lions are dangerous. To a lion, you look like lunch. Long ago, there was a man who fell in with a bunch of lions. Well, he didn't exactly fall in. He was thrown in. His name was Daniel. In the time of exile, when the king had carried the Israelites away to Babylon, some of Israel's smartest young men went to work for the king. Some of them found themselves in a really hot spot because they wouldn't bow down to the king's golden statue. Daniel was also from Israel. He was smart and wise. He was also a hard worker. When the king had strange dreams, God told Daniel what the dreams meant, and Daniel told the king. The king was so happy with Daniel that he made him an important leader in Babylon. Wow. Then eventually the king died, and while Daniel was working for the next king, the Babylonian Empire came to an end. There was a new empire in town, the Persian Empire, and a new king, King Darius of the Persians. King Darius liked Daniel so much he wanted to put him in charge of the whole empire, even though Daniel wasn't Persian. This made some of the Persian leaders mad. "Why should he be our boss? He isn't even Persian," they muttered. The other leaders looked for ways to get Daniel in trouble. But Daniel didn't tell lies, he didn't cheat, and he didn't steal. How could they get him in trouble if he never did anything wrong? Then one of them had a sneaky idea. "Daniel is an Israelite, and he prays every day to the God of Israel," he said. "Let's have King Darius make a rule that says for 30 days, no one can pray to anyone except the king." The other leaders thought this was a great idea. "And what will happen to people who break the new rule?" they asked. The guy with the sneaky idea smiled a sneaky smile. "They'll be thrown into a pit full of lions." Everyone laughed sneaky laughs. Daniel would be lunch for the lions. Sure enough, their plan worked. King Darius signed the new law. The sneaky guys waited outside Daniel's house to see if they could hear him praying to God. Daniel could have skipped praying for 30 days, or he could have prayed in his closet or under his bed so no one could hear. But he didn't. Daniel kept praying just the way he always prayed, in his room, with the windows wide open, looking out toward Jerusalem. Daniel didn't want to be lunch for the lions, but just like the other men, when they faced the fiery furnace, Daniel knew something important. God is bigger than lions. God is bigger than anything we could possibly face. Daniel didn't want to get thrown to the lions, but he was going to trust God no matter what. Daniel was praying to his God, the sneaky guys told King Darius. King Darius didn't want Daniel to be lions' lunch, but the law was the law. Very sadly, the king watched as Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. "I hope your God can save you," he said. Look, there he is being thrown into the lion's den. They look a bit hungry, don't they? That night, King Darius couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned. He'd wondered if Daniel's God would protect him. He'd worried that he'd never see his friend again. In the morning, before the sun was even up, King Darius ran down to the lion's den and rolled back the stones that had kept Daniel trapped inside. "Daniel," the king yelled, "are you all right?" There was silence. Then a voice came from the dark den. "I'm fine. My God shut the mouths of the lions so they couldn't bite me." Daniel was safe. King Darius said he would never pass a silly law like that again. And Daniel knew that he could trust God because God is bigger than the lions. Look, there he is. with the king checking if he's all right after the night. So now I have a few questions for you guys. What should I do if my friends ask me to do something I know is wrong? I'd also like you guys to talk with your friends, your family, your parents, your siblings, anybody that's around you in the next couple days, and talk with them about why do you think Daniel kept praying to God? Also, what will you do the next time you are faced with a hard choice? And last but not least, we should pray. Can you all bow your heads so we can pray? Dear God, we want to trust and follow you. No matter what, give us wisdom and courage when faced with hard choices. Amen. All right, thank you guys. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.